Representative Tulsi Gabbard. Now, Tulsi Gabbard has really made people angry. A lot of people angry with her vote during the impeachment. So during the impeachment vote, it was actually understood that she wasn't even there, but then she kind of popped up towards the end to vote present. It's abstaining from voting, obviously, not voting yes or no. And so the two articles, I believe, were abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. I really wish that they had included the garden of variety of financial violations that Trump has committed, as well as the violation of the emoluments clause. That would have been massive, because it would really be huge for setting a precedent, which would be really, really good, because obviously it would reduce the effect of money in politics. And for, Nancy Pelosi's a moron, and she's not interested in that, so obviously she didn't have the emoluments clause violation as one of the articles, unfortunately, but that's what we're kind of dealing with here. But her vote was pretty ridiculous, it was pretty spineless, and it was pretty lame, and she came out with her explanation. Her explanation was basically, she admits that Donald Trump has committed crimes, but she basically says that, this is a partisan process, and Hamilton warned us about this partisan process, blah, 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 and, that's kind of what happened. And so people have been just letting loose on Tulsi. So some of the people who let loose on Tulsi Gabbard was TYT. Now, as you guys know, obviously, Ana Kasparian of the Young Turks and Emma Vigeland have both been extremely harsh critiquers of Tulsi Gabbard. Seriously harsh critiquers, okay? The one person who hasn't, I've never seen him critique Tulsi, and he may have done it, but I'm not aware of any times that he has, is Cenk Uygur. I've not seen Cenk Uygur critique her. And in addition to that, when he went on the Jimmy Dore show recently for that interview about his congressional run, which he mentioned the name of Tulsi Gabbard 60 seconds in, he gave him credit. That being Jimmy Dore gave Cenk credit for not going after Tulsi Gabbard in a similar fashion that the others did. And I haven't actually seen him go after her. I did see him flirting with her in his interview with her, but I definitely did not see that. Now, TYT on that day, they were live streaming their show, as they always do, and it was during the impeachment day, and so at the time it was understood that Tulsi wasn't going to even show up to vote, and Cenk absolutely lost his mind. He basically said that, Tulsi's not a progressive. You need to stop pretending that she's a progressive. He also threw in a caveat saying that, I'm not saying that all the people who don't support, or all the people who support Tulsi are not progressive, which he's probably talking about Jimmy Dore there. But in response to this, Tulsi Gabbard, this is not the first time she's done this, but the previous time she did this, it was on Instagram. On Instagram, she liked the comment, because she goes on The Hills Rising. It looks like The Hills Rising is basically Tulsi Gabbard TV, essentially, which is unfortunate. They're just shills for Tulsi Gabbard, I guess. But she went on there again, and previously on Instagram, she posted a picture of her on Rising. Someone in her comment section commented saying that Rising is the new TYT before TYT sold out. I did a video on that, so if you want to go check that out, you feel free. This time it looks like she's liking multiple tweets on Twitter. So this one is a response to Crystal Ball from Tulsi TV, basically explaining her vote and really giving a real good defense. And this person responds saying, "Kistel, this is brilliant journalism. It's too bad Emma Vigeland and Ana Kasparian and other haters are not brave enough to watch and learn from you." So again, some pretty bad grammar here. Kistel and journalism is for some reason capitalized. There's no apostrophe in it's and all this other stuff. But it's just pretty hilarious to see. So she likes this tweet. There are even a couple of others here. So it's not even just one this time. There's multiple of them. All right. This one says the TYT attack video they made on Tulsi yesterday is disgusting. They bring everything up from the Steve Bannon smears to saying she's vying for a Trump cabinet position in 2020. Now, I'm not actually sure how I feel about those things, honestly. But one thing I will tell you is whatever the name of that flower is, I don't know what the name of this flower is. But as soon as you see the flower, immediately don't discard what they say. Don't take what they say seriously. And if you are somebody who decides that, hey, you're going to mute or block all of them, the people with those flowers, I can't blame you. In fact, I admire you. I truly do admire you. So I strongly recommend that. It's basically a sign for the Tulsi cult. And so obviously you don't want any cult action. And one of Nico Loco's goons is blocked by Ana Kasparian, which totally makes sense because, once again, these people are truly lunatics. They have no brains. They're insane. Complete lunatics. A candidate who can't even crack 2 points in the national average, the RCP average. We're treating her like a serious candidate, which is absolutely hilarious to me, fam. But so she likes multiple tweets. Now, what I will say is it's all fair game, is what I would say. I would say it's all fair game, okay? You know, they lodged a critique of her. She's fair enough to do that. Now, I would say that it's a bit passive-aggressive, kind of like Jimmy Doar. Jimmy Doar is super passive-aggressive. Under the definition of passive-aggressive in the dictionary is a picture of Jimmy Doar, all right? So I guess she's taking after her biggest fan. And, well, I don't know if her biggest fan is Jimmy or Nico. Comment below. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that. But liking tweets, I think, is a weird way to do it. But I think if she, like, sent out a tweet critiquing them, I'd be like, oh, okay, well, it's fair game for you to critique them. I just would disagree with her. Because she actually went on the Jimmy Doar show, which is really weird because it seemed really awkward. And Jimmy Doar actually, he just basically talks over Tulsi. Tulsi had no reason to be there. He was just talking over her the whole time. And he was just saying his own shit. So I don't even know why Tulsi was on there. It doesn't even make sense. But, you know, she went on his show, and her explanation, of course, is really ridiculous to me. And here's what I'll tell you. Again, there's some people who are Republicans who are mad she didn't vote no. But what I'll tell you is she admits that there were crimes committed, but she says she dislikes it because it's for a partisan purpose. And Jimmy Doar and Tulsi Gabbard bring up the Bill Clinton impeachment. Now, the problem is what were they being impeached for, right? So Bill Clinton's being impeached for essentially lying about a sex affair, perjury, right? That sort of a crime is clearly is not really enough to impeach someone, right? And so it was partisan at the time. Now they're claiming that this is super partisan, right? Because there were some crimes committed, but they were trying to get it already. But my thing is, like, if you admit that there were crimes committed, what is partisan about this? It's like, yeah, the Republican Party has been incredibly partisan ever since the Bill Clinton administration, okay? So I don't even know what this stupid game is of yours. Like, yeah, it's partisan. It's the way politics are because of the Republicans, the hardcore Republicans, okay? So as long as the crimes were committed and you admit that, there's nothing really uber partisan about this from the past. That's the thing that I don't understand. So as long as they're legitimate crimes, like serious enough crimes to impeach the guy, it's a lame fucking excuse. The real reason why she's doing this is because she wants to play centrist, and she wants to get all those Republicans who love watching her workout videos and donating to her. That's what she's trying to get, because truth be told, she's strapped for cash now too. So without those Republicans donating to her, she's got no chance. But I want to show you guys this clip real quick.
Poll. So they just ignore facts that they don't enjoy, right? And so that's not doing news, right? That's called doing propaganda. And that's what CNN does, and that's why they're all for poll.
So he's going on his monologue. He's going on a rage fest here. Tulsi herself is trying to talk. As you can see here, she's literally trying to speak. And Jimmy Doar keeps talking. And it's like, dude, you brought Tulsi on your show. If you want to go on your monologue, do your own monologue on your own time. Why would you bring Tulsi on to just talk over her? And to be quite frank with you, this interview was super duper awkward because, I mean, this is like peak awkwardness, right? I mean, you're literally talking over Tulsi. You don't bring on a presidential candidate and then talk over them the entire time. What was the point of bringing them on? Doesn't make sense, right? No, it doesn't. Obviously not. So it was just super awkward. Like, why would you bring her on? And then he was saying some pretty loaded stuff that she may or may not want to have, agreed with and all this kind of stuff. This was uber cringe. And then looking at the comments section, there were people who I couldn't tell if the people who were mad were angry that she didn't vote no because they were Trump supporters, or if there were people who were mad that she didn't vote yes because, they're just left wing. I genuinely couldn't tell. As you guys know, Jimmy Doar has a shocking concentration of right-wing viewers, so I genuinely don't know which one of those it was. But this whole thing is a big-time debacle. Tulsi passive-aggressively going after TYT. after TYT goes after her, and then she goes on the Jimmy Dore show, and Jimmy Dore is talking over her. This is all a mess, dude. This is all a big time mess. Nobody was surprised that Jimmy Dore was going to jump in and defend her goddess at every turn, right? Was anybody surprised about that? Hell no.